with what we typically do, basic warm up. So feet shoulder width apart, and all you're going to do, hands on hips, head exercises, up and down. Left to right. Shoulder to shoulder. Half circles at the bottom. Half circles at the top. Okay, arms out to the side. Golf grip. Text still coming in, so hopefully that's not something having problems because I haven't got anybody here to read them. Thumbs up, fingers turned inwards, and all you're going to do is mainly behind you, rotate some reasonably small circles, gradually increasing the size of them, all the way around. Then you're going to come round the other way. Okay, and you're going to reach up, bend down to one side, reach down the leg. And the other side. Take your hips, take your legs wider. And all we're going to do is drop at the waist. Don't overstrain it if you haven't warmed up properly anyway. Just get down as far as you can, as far as is comfortable. Take your palms down if you can. Stretch out the hamstrings and then walk over to your left leg and try and get your chest towards your knee. Exhale on the downward cycle. And you're pushing down over to the other side and exhale down. Put both arms down the side of one leg, everybody's favourite. Try and keep the back leg as straight as you can and into the hip flexor stretch. And all you to do is try and look up, and then when we lift our hand up, lift the hand nearest the knee away, up to the ceiling and follow it with your face, stretching out through the back leg. Hold it, and down, other side. Lock it out, breathe through it, and down. I hope those messages are important. Walk across to the other side, I will check them in a moment, just before we kick off the proper session. Again, looking up, hand behind you, follow it to the ceiling, stretch through, keep the back leg straight, and down. Tighten the core, take the other side and bring it round. Okay, come round, let me just check those messages very briefly. There's people apologising because they can't make it, but that's fine. Still a load of you there, good. Okay, so down into plank. I'm not going to stay here too long, but try not to drop in the middle. Try and keep yourself straight, and all you're going to do is arm to the shoulder and take one arm forward. The hips want to flare out at this stage, try and keep them low. And other side. Down on your feet. Now we're going to, again, another isometric balance exercise. Is you're going to simply stand on one leg, put your weight on your right leg, take your left leg and lift it straight out in front of you. Don't go for height, go for straightness of the leg. And when you're in a comfortable position, try and lift this leg high. Doesn't matter if you have it bent, but it's easier to lock it out. Then bring the arms up. These exercises get considerably harder the more out of breath you get. Now you can either sit here in the Namaste pose, arms out to the side, or arms high. And down, change legs. Again, work onto the left leg. I'll turn and face this time. Lift the leg. When you've got your balance point, bring the arms either here, here, or here, depending on how difficult you want to make it for yourself. Don't be afraid to put your leg down if you need to, regain your balance, and stretch the leg out. Good for core. This is why we don't need to warm up too much with this going on. And down. Back into the plank position. This time we're going to take the left arm and the right leg up. So there you go. And again, just try and tighten the core. Stretch. I've got a wall in my way. I realise some of you have got limited space. This might be a challenge. Hold it there. Try and tighten the core, keep your balance. Stretch out, back and front. Change, other side. And again, lock it down. Try and reach out in front of you. And down. Next one. Hopefully you're starting to get some blood flow. Next one, you're going to stand on the right leg and you're going to lift the leg backwards behind you and lean forwards. As you do so, you're going to reach back, grab your ankle, pull the knee away and reach forward with your other arm. Change legs. And again, I'll face the camera on this one. Weight into the left leg, right leg back, lean forward, separate the knee from the hand, and lean into it. And down. Now into the Sphinx. I'm going to do this facing the camera first of all. So from the Sphinx on the forearms, but with the knees off the ground, take your right arm in so it's at 90 degrees here, and then reach out with the other hand, looking forward. And change arms, put the left hand down, I'll change angles so you can see. Again, stretching forward with one hand. Try and let the body sag and bring it back in. Sorry folks, it's not ideal when we're live, so some people can't see it. Okay, so let me start my timer. So start on the feet, minimal movement of the body, and we're going to start one arm in front of the other, no pressure, nice and relaxed. Try and regain your breath if you're out of breath from doing the warm up. Nice and slow and steady. Remember, your fist should be relaxed. There should be a minimal body movement, isolating just the arms. Your fists need to be landing about throat height and coming back. Think of your elbows as pistons on this one. The other point to note here is if you look straight down the lens, at no stage is there a gap that people could get through whilst I'm punching down the centre line. you find yourself with too much body movement, too much shoulder movement, sink down low into it, sit into Yiji Kim Yung Ma. Speed it up a bit. Okay, and wind it down. Okay, next thing I want to focus is on the shifting. Feet are ultra important. Remember, when we shift we need to transfer the weight over. I'm going to start in Yiji Kim Yung Ma. As a reminder, if you don't know how to get there, arms up, hands back, knees bent as far as I'll go with the heels on the floor, toes out, heels out, ha cha sao, chun cha sao, so okay. So from here, in order to shift, if I take I want to go to the right, I'm going to shift my body clockwise. What I do is bring the heel in. You'll notice my weight transfers over. And again. So the exercise sequence we're going to do with our technique is going to use 3 of these structures tonight. I don't want you to just turn a heel in and not move your centre line. Make sure that when you move, you maintain the same height, but you move the weight across to the back leg, back to the centre. So that's the first one. It's shifting. Try not to overshift. If you overshift like this, you end up in a T stance, which is very unstable. Again, there. Notice my lateral movement is with one heel at a time. And my head height stays exactly the same throughout. Next one we're going to do is a side step and a drag back to the centre. Side step and a drag back to the centre. Points to note, the leg I move out, so in this case the mirrored leg will be the right leg, it's my left. I step out, it stays in the same position. I drag and move the weight back across this leg, and then my feet are at the same angle as if I'd just done the shift here. The only difference is you're adding in a step in beforehand. Come back to the centre each time. Okay, the third step we're going to be practicing tonight, which is, again, depends on the point of intersection. Obviously, if we're caught unawares, it's unlikely we'll have a chance to get a side step in. We may be reacting with a shift. If we've got more time, we can anticipate, and of course, yes, we can take a little step out of the way before we make the counter. But the most aggressive of our steps is the zigzag step. So same as before, you're going to take your left leg out slightly, you're going to shoot forward using Buma. Make sure your body's facing the opponent, your knee is covering your groin, and your force is going through that knee. Your force should follow the line of your quad forward through the target, through the centre line. Okay, and zigzag back. So I step out with my left, in case you're right if you're mirroring. Bring the foot through and forward. Circle the front foot back and then the back foot back. And you end up back in Yiji Kim Yung Ma. Once again, 1, 2. And the other side. So I'm going to take my right foot out and then back in. Zigzag. Notice the foot doesn't go straight out, it actually comes in a circle as a good defensive measure in case we're going to get intercepted or somebody is going to try and do something to us. Most important thing here is to make sure that the weight is on the back leg. So it's no use going and doing your step and ending up with a wide stance and 50-50. Weight distribution here is 50-50, no good. When I go through, make sure we take the back leg with us. There, weight's on the back leg. 1, back, 2, and back. Okay, start with the 3 basic techniques: tan, pak, and lap. Tan Sao dispersing arm we can use against potentially against hooks if they're high enough up the arm. Ideally on the outside gate for any other punch, but it will work on the inside gate. You have to watch your angles a little bit more. Tan Sao dispersing hand, flat palm. And all we're going to do is from our position in Yiji Kim Yun Ma, go into guard stance, take your right arm forward, and as I shift clockwise, my front hand becomes a tan, and the other hand becomes a punch. So it flattens out. Notice I'm not cocking it, I'm not opening it, I'm not dropping it. It's literally has forward momentum. Remember when we do Siu Nim Tao, the Tan Sao always has forward momentum. So should your Tan Sao. Again, when you start to introduce the hands, don't overshift the feet. There's a tendency, a lot of people, to bring their foot right round once they start moving. Remember, your angle of attack is changing. Your opponent is here. When I move my feet here, my opponent is still there, not over there. So I've intercepted there, there, there. And again, notice I'm moving one heel at a time. Let's go to the other side. Now without changing my guard stance, my left hand is now going to do the tan and my right hand is going to do the punch. Probably not logical given the circumstances, but let's do it anyway. So I'm going to shift that heel out, tan and punch. Don't over hyperextend the punch either. Remember, keep the elbow in. Let them dance to your tune. Tan goes forward. Okay, let's take that tan to the next level. So we're going to sidestep left, and we're going to drag the foot and tan da. Now you'll have to change the angle because obviously if the target's there, if I've stepped to the side, I've moved away. So your Tan Sao in reality probably won't reach at this point, but it's good practicing footwork. So if we go, make that step nice and small. Step and drag. Step and drag. And to the other side. My left hand, the Wu Sao, is now becoming the Tan. Okay, all good. Now we're going to do the zigzag step. So this is slightly different because we'll execute the Tan Da, the Tan Sao punch, on the forward motion. So the step to the side, this is the point as the back heel comes in, not the front heel. As the back heel comes in and lands, that's the point we strike. So all we're going to do from here is there. So my Man Sao is becoming the Tan. I'm shifting my left foot out, which will be your right if you're mirroring. There. Obviously, in application, it'll vary depending upon where the person is. What you're trying to do is spring load that forward motion. So don't make the left step or the right step too big. It's a nice 2 or 3 inches, bang, in you go. Now, Dean, I hope you haven't snuck out for another cigarette. I hope you're still with us. And the other side. So zigzag, the other side. And again, make sure the weight is over the back leg. There. So from this side, there. Okay, on to Pak Sao. So this time I'm still going to shift clockwise, which you don't need to mirror because you'll be going clockwise as well. I'm going to take my right foot in, and at the same time I'm going to do paksa with my left hand, so this will be to the outside gate, and I'm going to punch across it with a da. So again, I'm not stepping, it's a static, there. Now the only problem with this is at the moment it's not using the principle of linsil dart, which is simultaneous attack and defence. So here I want to be changing this to there. And notice the paksa goes forward but keeps my elbow in, so that if I get intercepted it can always become another technique as it adapts. If I was doing this from here, it wouldn't be the technique to use realistically, because if somebody comes here I would react with this hand first. But for the sake of the drill, all we're going to do, pat punch, back to guard stand, pat punch, pat punch, pat punch. Make sure your elbow is on the outside, sorry, your wrist is on the outside of your elbow, not on the inside. And the other side. Now this side is logical because this hand's forward. If somebody comes with a leading left arm here, I'm going to intercept it with my right, and that becomes a more logical use of paksa in this instance. Try and get back to guard stance each time. Easy enough. Now let's do it with the side step. So, sorry, no, with a side step. There. And the other side. This time, drag, step and drag. Now we're going to use zigzag step with paksa. So I'm going to go out, forwards, back down, circle back. And the other side. Okay, final technique to use with this set is lapsao. Remember, lapsao redirecting hand. I don't want to see big elbows coming out to the side. Keep them in the centre line and draw the hand downwards. Remember, you go forward to intercept, pull down to redirect. So from here, the shifting, forward hand, the mansao is going to be doing the redirecting. Shift one heel, and you notice I'm not gripping, I'm simply pulling the hand down. If I were in combat or in a situation where there's an opponent, I'd obviously grip that, but without using the thumb. And just now I can't grip with this hand anyway, so it will be futile. There. And again, other side. So lapsao, punch, lapsao, punch. And again, it would be illogical in real life to use it, because if the person has got past your front hand, you don't want to be relying on your back hand. You should have reacted with the front hand, whether a pack, anything you need really. So there, lapsao, punch, lap da, lap da, lap da. Back to the other side. This side, side step, lap da, drag the foot, lap da, lap da, lap da. And the other side. And in reality, you probably wouldn't use this with necessarily with this technique, with the zigzag, because if they're this close and you're using your redirecting hand, you don't want to meet them with a redirecting hand, you'd probably be there already. So it's a little less realistic. Nevertheless, again, good to practice for the sake of the footwork. Remember, if you don't have good basics, you don't have Wing Chun. Wing Chun is all about the basics. Stance is everything. Hand techniques come and go. And you'll adapt them and adopt them depending on your combat style, depending on the situation. So here we go, other side. Turn this way. Okay. So, last thing I want to do, on to add this is jump style, but this time I just want us to start from Chipping Norton. I'm going to go 45 degrees first of all and punch with the right hand on the outside gate, and the left hand's going to be a Wu style. Then we're going to shift 90 degrees and the hand's going to come back underneath as a sinking jump style. And then what we're going to do is rotate. There. Now this could be on the inside gate or the outside gate, and that would determine in which direction the pressure would be used to sap the energy. If this is hitting the outside of the arm, then I'll obviously draw it further away from me and shift further. If I'm drawing it inside, then this is a sinking on top of hand. So the hand would be underneath here and it will be dropping into jump rather than sinking outwards. And this is a really solid shape once you get to this position. And other side. Alternate, alternate. Again, once you've got into the rhythm of it, focus on narrowing the footwork down. Don't take such big steps. Always, once you've got the technique, start honing it. Okay. Quick mouthful of water. We're going to do Siu Nim Tao now. For those of you that are advanced in it, you can do your own thing, or you can stay with me. I'm not going to do it at the slowish 30-minute pace, I'm going to do it at a reasonable speed. Once facing, once side on. So into Chipping Norton, toes out, heels out. Notice my height stays the same, I don't change at that point. Sitting down in the stance, toes gripping the floor. Remember, when you're practicing this, tongue on the roof of your mouth. Help your yang join the yin elements through the roof of your mouth and your tongue. We'll also teach you to breathe slowly as well. So, I'm going to mirror, so Ha Cha Sao, right, left over right. Chung Cha Sao, Sao Ken. I don't know if I've got them on, but I've got them on. Then we're going to have Chi Chung Ken, so I'm going to mirror here, so left hand goes in, into the centre line, opens out into Tan Sao, fingers towards you, drop down inside, pull back towards you, completely relaxed. Same the other side. Chi Chung Ken. Open. Fingers go round, down. As far as you can, close the fist. Should be nice and relaxed in this with all the weight on your quads and nice and locked out. Now the left hand comes into a Tan Sao. Get that hand into the centre line nice and swiftly, and then let it arc outwards and forwards. Remember, stop before the shoulder engages, about level with your chin. Bring the fingers towards you, don't drop the elbow, rotate down and up and into jump sao, and now the fingers will probably be level with the top of your head. This is a real fight against the bandage, so I do apologise. Let this sink slowly, this jump sao, sinking elbow. Once the elbow touches your side, which is that thumb and fist measure away from you, drop into fuck sao. Again, completely relaxed shape, allow it to ride through the centre line, in and onward and upward. Once it gets into that position before the shoulder re-engages, again back into jump sao, and we come down for the second of this paired sequence. This is much faster than we practice it on our own. This is your chance to focus, find that position of zen. One more time, out with the fuck sao, the bridging or subduing hand, the prone hand. which lays down on something and saps its power and gives you the bridge. And again, let the elbow ride out quite naturally here, don't force it in any direction. When we get to this point here, I'm going to pax out 45 degrees, but it's only going to go out to my shoulder. It's a very short stay. When you practice on your own, if you don't use the mirror, you'll find yourself doing it over there. Very short stroke, fingers towards the target, and strike Chun. So strike on the inside gate. Into Tan Sao, round, close the fist, and back. Notice I don't come back in an arc. I've seen a lot on YouTube doing this. The idea is this could potentially become an elbow strike, which means it goes straight back and the shortest route to the target. We don't use curves until Buji. Right hand comes in. Again, nice and slow. Tuck that thumb in. Try and keep the fingers together if you can. Once it gets to that position, where it's at its strongest, bring it into an elevated jump sao, using Hun sao to circle round and let it sink down. Into Fuk sao, back into the bridging hand, and there's the first of the bridging hand, into jump sao, and down, Fuk sao, and down. Make sure your Wu Sao position, the resting position, is always a constant there. Make sure when you get to that position, that should become a groove. The whole idea of practicing this at this speed is so you create a structure, you reinforce the carpal tunnel, you retrain your ulna and everything to do things that they're not used to doing. So the slower you do it, the more you'll expose your errors and the more you'll find that groove. Pak Sao 45 degrees, back to the centre, Chi Chun. Into Tan Sao, round, close the fist. We then have a left hand packs out to the shoulder. No, we don't. Sorry, ignore that. Missed a bit. So, Gum Sao, left first, hands to the hips, strike backwards, forwards. Into double Lan Sao, left over right, come back right over left. I'm obviously mirroring. Elbows stay in the static position. Remember, you want your elbows to stay a constant distance away from your body as you come over into the Jum Sao. Shun Jum Sao or double Jum Sao. You're going to turn these over and you're going to drop into your core with double Jut Sao. Shun Jut Sao, there. So it's not about getting the elbows past your body, it's about that jerking action down. We then have Buji, strike to the eyes. Actually, it's not Buji, it's a Bu Sao. Which is as a block rather than the fingers. We drop it down into Nat Sao, drop the fingers down into butting hands, double Ding Sao, up into double Tan Sao, rotate round, close the fist. Back to where we were. So we have a Pak Sao to the side, then into the centre, a Wan Jung, side on, fingers round, close the fist, same the other side, strike. Obviously you can do this at a fast pace. I'm doing it slow just so you can keep up. Then we have the dropping Tan, so bring it in as though it's going to become a Tan Sao, and then, jut the hand down, then drop it into Tan Sao, into Jut Sao, Tan Sao, round, strike, low strike, back into Tan, round, close the fist. Again, take the hand downwards, so this is the shooting Tan that comes down over the top, into Jut Sao, Tan Sao, round, Hun Sao, Wan Jung, back into Tan, round, close the fist. Then again, Tan Sao, dropping in, into Gang Sao, splitting arm, back into dispersing arm, round, again Wan Jung, low strike, back into Tan, close the fist. Again, dropping, Tan, Gang, Tan, round, Wan Jung, back into Tan, close the fist. We then have the first of our bong, so make as though you're going to do a Tan, but as the elbow leaves the side, rotate. Remember, middle finger is key in strengthening the bong. Drop the elbow into the position of Tan, lift the palm only into Tok Sao, back round, Hun Sao, close the fist, Sao Ken. Same the other side, so bring it as though it's going to be a Tan, into bong, back into Tan, elevate, round, close the fist. Then into Ta Sao, freeing hand, so basically, put your left hand into the middle, right hand across the inside of the elbow, and you're going to push and pull as though you're taking a glove, rolling a glove off, very apt with today's climate. And you do that 3 times, and on the 3rd time bring your fist into the centre. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This hand comes back as a fist, open into Tan Sao, round and close. And so ends Siu Nim Tao. 108 moves, all divided into 3 sections. So I'm going to run through that from the side, but at a faster pace, so you can all join in at your own pace, and we'll get through it really quickly. Yiji Kim Ma, Cha Sao Shun Cha Sao Sao Ken. And then we're going to go straight into Lim Wan Ken, and even these I'm going to do at a pretty pace rather than coming down and slowing things down. Obviously this bit should take you 15 to 20 minutes. And that's about the pace that you need to be aiming for on your solo practice. Okay, before we move on to some leg work, I just wanted to do Bong Wu with the 2 positions we had before. So the first Bong Wu we're going to do simply with a shift again. So all you're going to do is make sure that the bong is going in the direction you're shifting towards. There. So each time you shift, the Wu Sao will change over. So put your left hand as a Wu Sao, or go into guard stance, and then you're going to shift counterclockwise and throw it forward. Back to the centre, throw it the other way. Now, we wouldn't really use it in this way, so we're going to start and amend the routine so that our hands start in front of our groin here resting. Doesn't matter which one you have on top, it's entirely up to you. Chum Kiu form, obviously the direction you're going, you would have that hand, you'd have the Bong Sao hand underneath and the Wu Sao hand on top. But this is just if we're caught with our arms down. This is Pow Bong, this is the throne bong. So we're going to turn one heel in, go counterclockwise, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, although it's a striking bong because it's an intercepting bong in that lovely arc upwards across the body, intercepting everything from the stomach right through to the chin really. Although that's what's happening, it still needs to be a relaxed shape. We don't necessarily want to lose that contact with the opponent. We need to make sure that we maintain that because that's our feed, and once we've got that feed we need to then do something with it. So try and focus on getting the bong into a real strong position and getting the body weight right, and making sure, just like we do in the Chum Kiu form, that your legs are facing that direction at 45 degrees away from it, that you're facing your opponent, your shoulders are heading in that direction of travel, but you're facing your opponent, and your Bong and Wu are towards the opponent in front of you line. So your Wu doesn't look like it's in the centre line because we shifted to the side. It's actually to the side near the elbow. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go to the other side. Change hands, right hand on top, and I'm going to shift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, in reality, if you've got time to use a Bong Sao, remember this is when somebody's too close and you can't intercept it with any other technique because this covers all the bases and no other technique does if your hands are down. So this is covering all our options, but we never use it this way because if I'm going to throw my elbow up, if I've got time to throw my elbow, I've got time to step. So I'm going to take a tiny side step, we'll go back to the other side, hands down again, left over right, and I'm going to do a little side step there and throw it. There. So pound bong becomes even more aggressive, but more importantly, it takes you off the line of attack, but in an aggressive way. The faster you move into this position, the faster your counter will be. If you step out in a slogging way, your counter will be slow. But if you go in aggressively, you're actually going to come out with a technique that will work for you. And the other side. Now, we wouldn't practice this with a zigzag step because it might get you into a bad habit. Because in reality, if you're moving forward, you don't want to be using bong. Bong, remember, doesn't gain us any territory, it gains us time, and it's a halfway house. So let's add to that now, back to the side step, lap back. So I'm stepping out, bong woo, left fist will be over my arm here, that allows me then to lap and fax out. Come back to the centre, one, lap, fax out, back to the centre. So from hands down, there you go, add another technique if you want, there, there. Okay, let's do some static leg techniques, nothing too arduous here either. From Yuji Kimyung-ma, we're going to lift and do tango. So what I want you to do is take your left leg heel in, bring your right heel into the centre line, and then take it forward. There. If you do it from this stance again, notice my height does not change during any of this. All I'm doing is changing my leg position so that when this gets intercepted, there, if somebody intercepts that, they will push into my downward anchor here. I've got a spike there effectively, that becomes my pike. I can absorb things into that structure there. And again, so let's do 10 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On the side, so bring your right foot in. 1, 2. Don't go for height. Remember, your heel needs to come down the centre line. Thanks for all tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you're finding it beneficial. Certainly get me out of breath. It's very difficult having this monologue. Okay, same. Now we're going to do bongo from this static position. So we're going to still bring the heel in, and we're going to bring the foot in. There, into the centre. Again, don't go for height. Now, remember, you wouldn't really normally use it in this static mode anyway. It would be with a forward step. Again, turn the foot across the body, heel into the centre line. On the other side. By the way, I lied about 30 minutes, didn't I? I would guess. Okay, so now we're going to go across the room. Hopefully you've got enough space to take at least 3 steps. So, into Yuji Kimyung-ma, there, into your guard stance, and into Vyuma. Take your right foot forward, so your mansao and your forward foot should be the same. Notice I'm covering my groin, and my toes are in a line. Weight on the back leg, I'm going to step forward, 1, 2, 3. Hands down and back up underneath, push off the other foot. Now the other foot's the mansao. I'll do it from the side. So again, starting from here, from Yuji Kimyung-ma, I'm going to take the one foot in, shoot, push off the back foot. Again, notice there's no change in height, very small steps up, through. 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, and back. Okay, now we're going to add an extra modes this, we're going to punch and then double punch. So from here, I'm going to push off the back foot, and as my back foot lands, I turn this to a foot, fist, and then 1, 2, open, open. Notice I'm not punching with the front hand, I'm simply stepping and then punching 2 additional times, open. And again, so open, make sure your wusa is in the centre line, elbow tucked in, shoulders facing forward. This is the biggest error most people have. They tend to have their shoulders facing side on. You need this. This locks your quad in. It means your striking angles are better, and when you intercept here, the force is going directly through your calf, into the floor, through your quad, and the power is springing forwards and upwards. It's really critical. Okay, here we go. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're going to do Bumao with Tanda. So we're going to step off the back foot. The front hand, the man sao, is going to be Tan sao and you punch. Tan sao and punch. Tan sao and punch. Again, try and keep the weight on the back leg. Arms underneath and through. Now the left hand's the man sao, and the front leg is the left leg. So they're mirrored again. I'm going forward and I'm going to do Tan sao as the back foot lands. Not as the front foot comes in, as the back foot lands. That's when you generate the power. If I intercept and strike at this point here, I don't have the power, I'm not using the floor. The only time the power is there is when I've re-established my anchor. So at this point, there. It's very confusing having a bandage on. See, as the back leg comes in. Now we're going to go to Ganga. So Gang Sao with the front hand and punch with the back. And again, don't do it as the front leg goes, do it as the back leg lands. And round, and again, push. 1, 2, 3. Always the forward hand that does the gang, because obviously that's the earliest point of interception. Forward, Gang Sao. 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 Gang Sao. Okay. So there's a layer of complexity to this now. Remember when we kick in Wing Chun, we're either intercepting and receiving something, absorbing it in and then countering, or if the kick fails, our structure doesn't get compromised and we move forward and reclaim the space. So a tangirk from here goes like this, but doesn't come back here. It actually goes forward and across my body again. So if I miss this kick, I don't compromise my structure. If I went to bring this back at this point here, I've got very poor balance because I've turned my heel inwards and the opponent is coming towards me. But by maintaining that forward momentum, it doesn't matter whether I hit or not. If I hit, that could be a calf, it could be a knee at the back leg, it doesn't matter. I'm gaining ground, which is, you know, the concept of Wing Chun, always be moving forward wherever possible, within reason. So again, from here, you can start from Yiji Kumima and then go 1, back, 2, 3. I'll do it from this side so you can see. So, what comes in, Tan, and then you've got not going for height here, the karate chaps are Mushu, Andy. So there, you're intercepting. Remember, if they're walking forward, that intercepts them at that point. If not, it intercepts them at the groin. Doesn't matter. Now we're going to do Bong. So again, so from Yiji Kimyuma, Bongurk, step. Step back. Heel in, Bongurk, step. Step back. Other leg, Bongurk, step back. Change your arms if you're going to do that leg. Bongurk, step back. Bongurk, and step back. Now, what we're going to do is a nice little combo. So from Yiji Kim Yung Ma, with the right man sao, wusa, all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my foot in, do a tangirk, and as I land, do a triple punch. So And I'll carry that on. Rather than going back to Yiji Kumi Man, I'm going to do another tango, go forward, 1, 2, 3. Tango, 1, 2, 3. Back, I'll do the back this side. So from here, tango, there, tango, there, tango, there, tango, tango. Remember, it's only 2 punches really. It's a battering ram for the first one, and then 2 more punches. And we're going to do the same with bong gurk. So this time, we're going to bring the foot in, bong gurk, step forward, there, bong gurk, there, bong gurk, forward, and back this side. So from here, bong gurk, battering ram, 2 punches, bong gurk, battering ram, 2 punches, bong gurk, close the space, there, round, bong gurk, battering ram, 2 punches, bong gurk, battering ram, 2 punches. Okay, so most complicated thing we're going to do this evening is Kwan Sao. Now for some of you it might be a bridge too far at this stage, but try and bear with me. So Bong Wu is a halfway house. Well, we'll learn in the first couple of years it's a very important technique, and it also comes into play later on when we work in very close quarters. But when we're at that striking distance, and between striking distance and trapping distance, we need a move called Kwan Sao. And Kwan Sao means cultivating arm. It's a transitionary state, just like Bong Wu is. You wouldn't block something and go, ha, got it. You carry on. Same with Kwan Sao. Now the way we get into Kwan Sao is if you go back into Yiji Kumi Man, find your centre line, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to shift anti-clockwise. I'm going to shift in that direction. So if you go anti-clockwise too, this will work for you. So your left heel will be turning in, I would imagine, unless your clocks are going a different way to mine. See, that heel's going to come in. And what I want you to do is a Tan Sao as you go. Bring it back out, Tan Sao, Tan Sao, Tan Sao. Okay, happy with that? Basic stuff. What we're going to do at the same time is throw in a Dai Bong Sao. So when I'm doing the Tan Sao, I'm going to bring in a Dai Bong Sao. Tan Sao, Dai Bong Sao. Tan Sao, Dai Bong Sao. And of course, being Wing Chun, we don't do them individually. Once you've got used to being able to throw that shape, you then do them simultaneously. And if you have a look at it and examine the technique closely, it's very close to Bong Sao Wu Sao. It's just a low bong and a Tan Sao. So the Wu has dropped into a Tan. We use this all the time. The further you get into Wing Chun, it's a very technical technique, but it's very good for some of the higher levels of Chi Sao. So here we go, look, there. Now, you can start by doing it slowly, just to get the rhythm, but eventually it needs to be thrown. And you don't go 45 degrees. Remember, your opponent's here. The force needs to go towards them. There, there. Tan Sao, Dai Bong Sao. Let's do the other side. So we're going to shift the other side, Tan Sao, Dai Bong Sao. Tan Sao, Dai Bong Sao. Tan Sao, Dai Bong Sao. Most important here is to try and keep the centre line closed. Now this technique will change from application to application, and the wooden dummy is very good at teaching you where to be with the technique. But it will change in reality on the ground. So here we go. There. Now doing it simultaneously from a hands down position. But your hands could equally be up. From a guard stance, this could be it, or this. Now the way we transition between left and right is I'm going to go counterclockwise, there, and then I'm going to bring the lower hand, the Dai Bong Sao, into a Tan Sao as I shift, and it comes over the top. I'm now facing the other side. I'm over exaggerating the angle here so you can see. And then I'm going to bring the Dai Bong Sao into a Tan Sao, and then same the other side. So there's a flow to it. And what you'll end up doing, once you've got the knack of it, is being able to flow between the techniques. Very much there. Now, to break that down again, 1, shift, 2. If you need to do it separately, do the turn and then the bomb. Shift, turn, bomb. Lower bomb, dive bomb. Shift, turn, bomb. And when you put them together, you'll end up with this. And you want an overlap, because notice if I'm doing it towards the camera, you'll see my centre line's closed at all times. So this is a cultivating technique that allows you to flow into many other things from here, into beauty and so on. So, where it's actually most useful is not with a side step, and not necessarily static, but we can use it very aggressively. So let's use our zigzag step. We're going to zig out and quan. As the back foot lands, throw it towards the opponent. And again, there. You can do it from guard stance if you want. There, quan. There, quan. Quan. Other side, quan. Cultivating arms. Now, it's very difficult if you're new to it to visualise where this works in practice, but trust me, once you know this move, it's everywhere. And we can use it in a very aggressive way as well as a very passive, yielding way. So that's Quan Sao. Okay, I just want to do some basic single hand danchi. So if you take into Yiji Kim Yung Ma, I'm going to use my left hand, so you might want to use your right if you're on a mirror. And all we're going to do is we're going to go through the individual motions that we would do as a person defending here. So I'm going to start out with a Fuk Sao. Remember, somebody's Tan Sao is underneath, single sticky hand. They're going to palm strike, they're going to turn their hand over and come down the inside gate, so this would effectively be coming down here. All I'm going to do is drop the elbow down to dominate the centre line. There we go. Each time, they're effectively resetting by doing this. Jik Jung, Tan Sao. Jik Jung, Tan Sao. So it's on the inside gate, and I'm on the outside gate with the Fuk Sao, so I can control that just by dropping there. So get used to doing that. Now, when we're here, we've got the centre, so we can now counter. So turn that into a fist, back again. Counter, fist. So drop it into Jum Sao, and then fist. It's not tense, it's very relaxed. So there is the palm strike. There's my block of their palm strike. Now I've got the centre, I'm attacking. And you can practice this on your own with both hands. Try and get some upward snap into that punch. Remember, striking with those bottom 3 knuckles, the arc will be going up because they'll be yielding at the same time anyway, so they will be responding with what? A bomb, of course. So on this side of the equation, I'll do it with this hand because it would be this one, but the bandage is pretty unsightly. So the person who's got the Fuk Sao there, actually I'll have to do it with this side. The Tan Sao's here, I'm going to Jik Jung there, you wouldn't use this to support your elbow normally. Jik Jung there, and then come back. That would be the thing that they're using the Jum Sao on. That's their defence, which will drop my hand down here. There. And remember, I'm trying to strike the face. If I strike down there, they can punch over the top. So there. Now I'm there, that's the position they've locked in with their Jum Sao over the top. They're going to punch now, so I'm going to stick and come into Bong Sao. So now we can start to do this sequence. So from there, I'm going to do the palm strike into Bong Sao. Palm, bong, palm, bong, palm, bong, palm, palm, bong, palm, bong, palm, Jik Jung, Bong Sao, Jik Jung, Bong Sao. Other side, there, bang, boom, bang, boom. Okay, you can practice that to your heart's content. Now I'm going to give you something a little more tricky to do. For you guys that know Chi Sao, it's still good practice for you. Doing the other side without a partner is always a good thing to do. So, if you put your right hand into a Tan Sao and your left hand over the top of it into a Fuk Sao. Notice the hands are stacked vertically. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into, let's take this round. Take this into a Bong Sao. Take your right arm into a Bong and your left arm into a Fuk Sao. And all you're going to do is turn from this, I'm going to turn this Fuk Sao into a punch or a strike of some sort, and I'm going to take this into a Tan Sao. There. Back again. There. So I'm going from a Bong Sao on the top and a Fuk Sao at the bottom, and I'm bringing this up and this down. So they change positions. Now it looks like a circle, but it only becomes a circle because I've got an opponent. If the opponent wasn't there, it would actually just be a Tan Sao and punch from here, bang, Tan Sao punch. But I will be in contact with the person whose arm will be rotating, which will roll me up. Remember, all Chi Sao is to give that sensory acuity so that when you feel a contact, you don't have to think about it. Around about 700 hours of this, you should be fine. Okay, so look, I'm not even doing a punch now, I'm doing a half-hearted Fuck Sao on top. Because you can. As long as you've got one hand doing Tan and Bong. I'm going to take this off for this because it's very distracting. And I'll just put my finger bobbing on instead. Okay, so from here we're going to change round. So obviously we need to be able to do this both sides. So all we're going to do is change position. So this side's going to come the Tan Sao, this side's going to come the Fuck Sao, or the punch. So look, I'm going in here, Fuck Sao, with a Bong Sao, there, and I'm going to go Tan Sao punch, Tan Sao punch, Tan Sao. That's even more distracting, isn't it? I might have to manually manipulate my knuckle, I apologise for this. So on here, the Tan Sao rotates to a Bong, this goes into a punch, boom. So it's a punch when it's on the top, and it's a Fuck Sao when it's on the bottom. This will make more sense when you've got your partner. Here, now if you change hands, this one will be doing the Tan Bong, and this one will be doing the punch. There. Whichever one's doing the punch, there, so that's going to be a Tan Sao punch, and then that's going to come round there. So you can practice this, and you can do a changeover. Now the changeover is quite technical. So if you go into right Tan, left foot, all you're going to do, you can mirror if you want, all you're going to do is from the Tan Sao, you're going to drop the Tan down and bring the Fuck Sao up. Then you're going to rotate, and then you're going to turn, keep both elbows in, and this hand is going to loop onto the inside, the left hand, into a Tan, and this one goes into a Fuck Sao. Now, when I bring this round and they're punching, this is my Bong, this is my Fuck Sao. This becomes my Tan Sao punch. There. So the centre line is closed. My left hand's going from a Bong to a Tan. Ignore the right hand for the moment. You can just keep it as a Fuck Sao. It doesn't matter. Focus on the Bong. When you've got that down, then start to make this a Tan Sao punch. There. Nice and relaxed, but a Tan Sao punch. Punch. Could be any technique. And then, when we get here to the Tan, you're going to open both hands, come back. This hand is going to loop underneath and become the Tan. This one's going to become the Fuck. And then we go into this position. There. So now we Tan Sao punch with the other hand. Don't worry if you haven't got it. It's quite complicated. It's quite technical. Right, guys. So we've covered quite a bit. I just want to cover off, for those of you that need it, 16-point hand drill and 20-point hand drill. So 16-point hand drill, nice and easy, from Yin Jin Kim Yung Ma, static. What you're going to do is Tan, Tan, Gan, Gan, Pak, 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 Gum, Gum, Bong Woo, Cow, Cow, Fuck Sao, Fuck Sao. In the side, Tan Sao, Tan Sao, Gang Sao, Gang Sao. As long as you alternate the hands, so whichever hand did the last technique does the strike, then you can't go wrong. Gradually build up speed as you see fit. Okay, you can practice that. I will cut this into smaller videos as well for those of you who want to practice it. And the 20-point hand drill. So this involves shifting. What we're going to do is we're going to do a Tan Sao with a shift counterclockwise, Bong Sao with a shift clockwise, a Lap Sao as we shift, a Pak Sao as we shift. There's the first four. So Tan, Bong, Lap, Pak.
Which
I'm shifting
phone
each
number,
time.
contact or device do you want to call?
Alexa, stop. Who knew? So again, Tan, Bong, Lap, Pak. Tan, Bong, Lap, Pak. Let's add some more to it. Tan, Bong, Lap, Pak, Lan. Now I can square on for this because I'm not going to do lan sao at that angle, it would be in front of me, although ideally I'd be in this stance. Lan, but I'm going to do this, that allows me to accentuate the view, and then a jump sao, sinking elbow, and a wu, so the other hand would have to come out to demonstrate this has come back. So we're going from dispersing hand, wing arm, redirecting, slapping, barring, thrusting fingers, sinking elbow, guard hand or redundant hand, and then we're going to go around hoon, that circles round, and then come back and jut. So let's do those first 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tan, bong, lap, pak, lan, bu, jum, wu, hoon, jut. And for those of you who want to take it further, outside jut, gung, back, pow, gang, ding, naat, dai bong, jong, wu, cow rather. And that's for those of you who want to have the extra 10. One final thing, we'll finish off with Chum Kiu. For those of you that know it, if you don't, you can join in. I will cut a video afterwards, so hopefully you'll be able to pick up on it. So here we go, into Chum Kiu. I'm going to start from this end so I can go that way. Hopefully you can all still see me. Into Yiji Kim Yung Ma, Ha Cha Sao Sing Cha Sao Sa Ken. I obviously can't count when I'm talking. Very confined space here. And that's Chum Kiu. Okay, my number, I hope you've all got my phone number. I don't have all of yours anymore because my phone disaster. I've got those that have texted me, but if you know of people that haven't, I need to stay in touch. That would be great if you could send them to me. Any feedback you've got would be great. I don't know if it's too fast, too much, too slow. I don't know how long we've been going. I can't see because I haven't got my glasses on. But stay safe, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed it and worked up a bit of a sweat, and at least it's kept you in there. If there's anything you want to know or you want to talk to me one-on-one, that's fine. But all the best. Have a great evening. Stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, guys.